So welcome everyone. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of a tutorial with Virtual Grasp 1.0 that supports custom hand models. So we are going to, or I'm going to give you a small intro about how you can use custom hand models with Virtual Grasp, supported by Virtual Grasp. When you have worked with Virtual Grasp before, you know that we have in the onboarding scene, I'm in the onboarding scene here now, we have this glitchy rig hand model, which is kind of a semi-complete rig that contains both wrists. We have this here, and then the standard scenario we have plugged that into one avatar, and we are controlling it by Unity XR, which in my case here with the Quest and the Oculus Touch controllers works like wrist control, button pushing, clicking things, and then I can grasp stuff. So that's like how it's supposed to be when you have the standard version. So let's now start with adding a new hand model. I downloaded a couple of hand models from the Unity Asset Store, so I'm just plugging a random one in here. It's a little bit of different hand model, but it also is fully rigged and skinned, so that's fine. We see the skinned mesh render is here, and what we want to do now is, or what we have to do, is simply plug that skinned mesh render into this slot. And so let's play it and see what happens. Here is one hand. As you can see, it's moving and it's grasping, but something that you can't see is that the rotation is off. We need to adjust the wrist rotation. And this is the main part. The reason for that is we can't predict like how designers create and rig their hand models. There is no really standard for it. As you can see, for example, we in our glitchy definition, where you can also read more at our documentation, we have this definition that the y-axis, the green one here, is along the bones, and the z-axis, the blue one, goes to the inside. And for example, let's check this one. Yeah, this is different. You can see that the y-axis, the blue one, is going along the bones, I guess. No, actually here it's different. So the fingers are also different here, but maybe this. So you can see that the reference frame, the coordinate frames, are always different, and we can't predict how it is. So how we work around that with Virtual Grasp is that we can create a hand profile in which we define these offset rotations mainly. And you can slot in any kind of VG hand profile under the skeletal mesh, and hand profiles are scriptable objects that are kept in the Virtual Grasp resources hand profiles folder. You can see here one that is already there just for reference. It's no adjustments because, as I just mentioned before, it aligns with our obviously glitchy hand model, which is also used when you have nothing assigned here. So let's create a new one, a new hand profile, handy hands profile, for example, because this is, I think the package was called handy hands profile. Let's already slot that in here. And since it's a scriptable object, the nice thing is that we can tweak that during runtime also. Let's see. We have now only a right hand model, but that shouldn't be a problem, as you can see here. And this is always a little bit of tweaking, like how are we going to end up with the right rotation? Let's try it the other way around. I think it's probably something around this, yeah. I mean, usually you need some time to figure out how this Euler angles work, but now the orientation is correct for this right-hand model. And usually, if you have a right-hand model only, which some packages have, the standard procedure is to just clone it, mirror it, have it there. So now these are in virtual grass terms, these are still two different avatars. So we created new avatar here, we duplicated avatar. Also, we just slot the right robot hand in. Maybe I just rename that so we have that clear here, which one is which one, but you can also see that. So we have a glitchy hand right, we have a glitchy hand left, they have the same hand profile, and they have a Unity XR hand as controller. But as you noticed, we were just adjusting the right hand, so now potentially we have to do the same for the left hand. Well, not potentially, but for sure we have to do that. As you can see here. Let's just see if the same values hold for the left hand. If you just copy that over. No. I assume that the x-axis, yes, so this would be like the proper adjustment for this hand model. Now we can rotate the wrists, and now we can already like interact with those different objects here with this new hand model. So that's the kind of minimal thing that you have to do. You have created a new hands profile, configured the kind of rotation axis for the wrists at least. Now comes a little bit of an advanced course. So what do we do? Why do we have, for example, also the finger rotation here? So what you saw before through Unity XR is no finger tracking, so all the fingers are animated through virtual grasp, and that's why the finger rotations didn't even need to be considered, though the all these bones here are actually not aligned with the glitchy coordinate frame definition. So let's flip this to the Oculus finger tracking controller for both hands. I already enabled the project before with like the Oculus plugin and so on, so that should hopefully work. Yeah, we can see our hands, and that is what I mentioned. We haven't really taken care of aligning the finger coordinate frames yet. So let's do that for the left hand. Is difficult to track here. Let's see. So now it's a left hand finger rotation. Let's see. It's not the same as the wrist rotation. This looks good. So it's minus 90 here. On the right hand, let's see what happens if we put minus 90. No, that was wrong. So let's make it positive 90. Yeah. So now you can see you have also the finger coordinate frames properly aligned. The nice thing with a scriptable object is that you won't lose this here. So now you have this hands profile and you're ready to go. If you're lucky and if you have different hand profiles that, for example, now have exactly the same representation as as this hand profile that we just created. Let's take this one. This probably has, since it comes from the same pack, probably has exactly the same link. So, and that's the right hand, so let's put it into the right hand slot, the same profile. And play it. Yeah, now you can see that we have those two different, it's a bit dark in the room here. This is difficult to track, but you see that it in general works. I can even, I should be able to like move here and grasp things as well. So that's the so this is how you create your, or how you enable your own hand models with Virtual Grasp. If you have any questions, if something doesn't work for you, feel free to reach out to us on Discord on our support channel. Thank you, bye bye.